Attempt number 3. It's Fun Times
Okay.
Football. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fun Times Football. Back again for some punditry. Well, not punditry, baseless opinions with the one and only Ashley Kerwin. Everyone else decided to leave us this week. How are you doing, Ashley?
That's right. The one and only. If you could choose any one of us, you'd probably choose me, wouldn't you? And I've obviously got a loyal fan base now that listen to me. So yeah, I'm doing good, mate. It seems like everyone else thought it was the winter break as well for them, but for us, Liam, we keep it up. We keep up the hard graft and keep going through the winter break. There's no break for us.
No, we should be so lucky. I'll run the theme song.
It's Friday, it's Fun Times Football.
Lovely. Yeah. So this is actually our third attempt at recording. First attempt failed. Internet problems. Second attempt, I restarted it and Ashley just kept talking. So here we are. I guess we can jump straight into the games. I'll stick with what I've started with, even though Sam isn't here. We'll go through the Newcastle versus Manchester City game at St James's Park. I'm hopeful for Newcastle, more because I want them to win. St James's Park is a hard place to go. I think they've got some of their injuries back,
You know what? I don't know if it is a hard place to go at the moment, Liam. Not if you're Manchester City and you've got Kevin De Bruyne back and you get to win the league, you get to piss the league at this point onwards. This probably is the hardest of their challenges, but that includes Burnley, Everton, Brentford, and Chelsea. So it's not exactly, a difficult run for Man City at the moment. Obviously, they've got Tottenham in the cup though, so that could be a challenge for them later on down the line. I don't see it being too much of a challenge. Having a look at their injury list, Newcastle, they've got Isaac back. Joe Linton is questionable. I didn't realise he was injured. But they are without Callum Wilson. Nick Pope still out. Tonali's still an idiot for doing his gambling. So still lots of players missing. And Haaland, we're not sure about Haaland for City though, so that could be a factor. As to whether he's back, that could impact it. But they look like they're fine without Haaland, to be honest with you. I can't see past Man City here.
Yeah, especially with De Bruyne back. Like, I don't know if Haaland is that much of a miss while they've got De Bruyne. I feel like the other way around, it's much more of a miss, like having Haaland and not having De Bruyne is much worse than having De Bruyne and not Haaland.
Or Rodri, because apparently they lose every game without Rodri. So maybe he's the real factor.
He's the key.
He might be. Did you see the game for Man City against Huddersfield?
No, I didn't.
I
think I watched some of it. But yeah, De Bruyne came on and got 2 assists in
exactly
30 minutes he was on the pitch.
I don't know how you can judge Man City off that.
No.
Because it's Huddersfield, it's not real. It's not going to be the same test that Newcastle are going to provide. Newcastle looked good. We watched them against Sunderland, didn't we, in drips and drabs?
Yeah.
They looked pretty convincing.
Against Sunderland.
Championship opposition. But it was more of a, because of the factor it was a derby.
More stakes.
It was a hot away game and everything. It was a lot more at stake. Newcastle looked good. They did look comfortable. But again, I don't know. So in the reverse fixture, 1-0 City, I think, Alvarez. But it should have been more for Man City. And that was early on. Now Man City are probably going to hit their stride.
But last time City went to St James's Park, if you recall, was the 27th of September 2023 in the League Cup. Newcastle actually knocked City out.
Again, I don't know if Pep was bothered about the League Cup, though, which we'll come on to the League Cup later, because I do think it's a bit of a disrespected trophy. That's probably what it was. That's probably a factor in that one. There's always extenuating circumstances. I feel like City, this is their chance to go top, maybe, or level with Liverpool, and they'll probably take that. Let's have a look. No, sorry, they were 2 points behind Liverpool still.
Yeah,
they'll definitely take. I definitely think they'll seize the chance to do it. I'll go for a 2-0. I think for Man City.
Man City. You don't think Newcastle will score? I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, that's 2-0 tight. 2-0 is a tight game in Man City's books. That's
anything
true. Anything less than 4-0 is quite tight in Man City.
Yeah, actually, Newcastle haven't beat City twice in the same season since 1983-84.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
It's tough to call. I would love Newcastle to do it. Is what
I
my
know.
heart's saying.
We
but
all would, Liam. We all would.
my head is definitely saying Man City. You know what? I'm going to go draw. I'm going to go 2-2.
You let your heart
Okay.
rule you, Liam. You
No,
can't
no,
do that.
I didn't.
You're supposed to be a pundit.
I went in the middle. I went in between them
Okay.
both, and
I
figured
don't
2-2.
think you believe it, though. I don't think you truly believe what you just.
I believe it is
you're gonna
possible.
draw.
I believe it is also possible that Man City could win 6-0. So, you know, it's a hard game to call because if a decent Newcastle side turn up, then they could very easily win the game. But Newcastle have been more missed than hit this season, so
They have.
which
And
is
Liverpool.
unfortunate.
Liverpool destroyed them as well. 4-2 doesn't sound like it, but Liverpool had the highest XG in a game since records began against Newcastle.
Yeah,
That's a little fun factoid for you.
yeah, I watched that game, and Dubravka actually was probably man of the match, which is weird saying that for a goalkeeper that let in 4 goals, but
Yeah. Well,
Right.
Vicario, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. Weird.
yeah. And with that, Vicario, we'll move swiftly on to the Manchester United
Ah.
versus Tottenham game
Lovely.
at Old Trafford. Obviously, the reverse fixture, we did absolutely smash them, I'm pretty sure.
It was 2-0. That's where I was going to start from, Liam, to be fair. Because, now we're in the second half of the season, it's good to think about the reverse fixture. And when I think
Yeah.
about that, I think that was the point. So it's quite early on. When was it, end of August or start of September?
Yeah, I think it was like our second game, middle of August, 19th.
Yeah, I feel like it was the point at which people were starting to see Ange's going to have a difference here, and the point at which people also saw United are going to have another shit season. It was like the hinge point for both the teams, where Spurs continued on the ascendancy and United continued on the descendancy. So, but now they're meeting, and Spurs are at a point pretty confident. Would you say?
I don't know. We've been it's
Get the
been
results.
weird. Yeah, we've been getting some results, but then getting smashed by Brighton. I think one positive is we have Van der Ven back.
Men with Ven now.
Dragoshin is just signed. Should hopefully be available. Romero might be back. Because obviously we lost Ben Davies to a hamstring injury in the last game.
Who haven't yet? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hamstrings are very easily to pop in a Ange Postecoglou team, apparently.
Overworks them, man. A chance to leapfrog Arsenal, which would be good.
Issues, obviously, no Basuma, no Sarr, no Heung-min Son. So, I mean...
yes, yeah.
Lo Celso's injured as well. So I don't know who's going to be filling in that creative role. Maybe Kulusevski, Johnson one wing, possibly Timo Werner on the other with Richarlison through the middle.
That's exciting. Maddison should be back soon, shouldn't he?
He should be in training next week. So by the time we come to play Man City,
perfect.
He should be available. Yeah.
Oh, for the FA Cup, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, we could have a full strength team for because obviously there's a break for us next week, the winter break.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So,
and actually, after that, you've got Brentford, which is quite kind at home to Brentford, I think.
Yeah.
Everton away could be tricky, but then Brighton and Wolves both at home. I don't know. Yeah. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but
it is. But hopefully, with a full strength team, I'm not actually with a full strength team. I'm not really scared of anyone in the league. Funnily enough, saying that, I think this is the first time I've been able to say that for donkey's years. Right, I'm feeling quite excited. I think United this weekend will be a good test. Obviously, the players that need to step in, as well as hopefully the new signings. So
yeah, it will be a good test because they beat Villa at home.
Yeah, but they only turned up for the second half, and Villa didn't turn up for the second half. It was the old game of two halves.
They're able to, but United are able to do it sometimes, very rarely, in one half with lots of. I don't know. Sometimes they can do it, but they're at home. It's hard to write United off, even though they're having a terrible season.
Yeah,
and yet somehow they're 8th, and they're level on points with Brighton, and they're not actually in a bad position. I don't think Ten Hag's job under pressure. I'm not sure it is really.
Mm,
I'm not sure. Nobody's talking about it. So
they have. I think they lose a couple of silly games, like when they lost against Bournemouth 3-0. Everyone was like, "Oh, Ten Hag on the chopping block."
Forest,
Then they
yeah.
then they went and won 0-0 at Liverpool, and
Yeah.
everyone was happy again. And then they lost
Well,
against West Ham. Everyone's sad. Then they beat Villa. Everyone was happy. Then they lost against Nottingham Forest.
But then they beat Wigan in the cup, so it's okay with a dodgy penalty. So all is well in the world.
Yeah.
So following that pattern, they should lose to Spurs, but then beat Wolves away next in February. So that's fun.
Yeah, they've actually got the FA Cup after that, so we'll see. But
didn't see. Sorry, yeah, you're right. But who did they draw?
I've only got TBD on the bit I'm looking at, so I haven't got the draw in front of me.
I'm having a look now. It's between Newport and Eastleigh, so that'll be.
That's a tough fixture, isn't it?
So here's how it goes. Then they lose against Spurs, but then they beat Eastleigh away, and Erik ten Hag is the best.
He's saved again.
Fine. With a dodgy penalty in the 90th minute.
Bruno Fernandes diving again.
Yeah, that's it.
I could imagine it.
Called it here first.
Yeah. You know what? I'll do a score. I'm going to have to be confident. I think it's going to be pretty nuts game, back and forth, like all Ange's games are. I'm going to say 3-2 Spurs.
I was tempted by that, you know. I don't know what it is, but I'm being more swayed towards 2-1 because maybe it's because I haven't had a lot of Premier League football lately, so I'm like, I forget about all the crazy scores. But I've just gone for a simple 2-1.
The classic.
Yeah, but Anges are never chilled like that. But no, I've said it now. I'll stick to it. 2-1.
2-1. There we go.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah,
we'll leave it in there then. So first topic of the evening. I've just got transfer chat.
Yeah.
In the thing, so I guess
it's cool. We can chat transfers.
We can just chat transfers. So,
so Radu Dragosan, talk to me.
No, he's a former Juventus reject, which we love. He's come to join Bentancur and Kulusevski.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen his highlights on YouTube, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about it. I don't know. You know, whenever you watch highlight videos on YouTube, it's obviously highlights so that it doesn't show the mistakes. He's young. He looks all right. He's tall. I've seen some stats, and his aerial duel success is ridiculous. And he also is the second best defender when it comes to being dribbled past, with Van Dijk being first into Europe's top 5 leagues. There's only been 1 or 2 successful dribbles, and Van Dijk's had 1 less.
Nice.
So that's a good stat.
It's exciting. I think you needed someone like that. You did. I know you've
we need some. We need someone so that Romero can just go out and kill people if he needs to. You know, so that we've still got a centre back that we can use.
So that's it, isn't it? Like Ange's like, yeah, you carry on doing what you're doing, mate. But we'll just have someone to back you up, rather than calm down, Romero, and learn how to tackle. Just fucking go for it, mate.
Yeah. Like when we play Aston Villa in a few weeks' time, and Romero decides to just absolutely crunch Matty Cash for injuring
Bentancur. Each other. I didn't know what would happen there. I don't know what would happen. Like, those two collide. They're just mad, aren't they?
Be like the atom bomb when they split the atoms. That much of a reaction. Yeah, I'm happy about it. We needed another centre back.
Yeah,
especially with Eric Dyer going out. I mean, he's not like he's ever really played that much this season, but
yeah. I was going to talk about Eric. Well, let's talk about Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer's gone to Bayern Munich, which is I find it really bizarre. It's like when they signed Eric Choupo-Moting, and everyone actually. He's got the best agent in the world because he went from Stoke to PSG, and then I just don't understand. Maybe Eric Dyer's got the same agent.
Do you know what's crazy? Dragusin rejected Bayern Munich's offer, and from the rumours I've seen, he was going to be getting paid twice as much a week.
because he knew he'd be playing second fiddle to Dyer. You see, he couldn't be having that.
Well, no, but we would have had to keep Dyer if they got Dragusin, because obviously they would have preferred Dragusin over the Dyer.
Yeah, it's weird.
So we
isn't
got
it?
Dragusin and they got Dyer, which
But,
is
but there must be some logic to getting Dyer. Is it because of the experience in the
it's
dressing room? Or
yeah, I think experience, backup, give Harry Kane a mate. Make
give
sure
him
he's
a
not so...
give him a mate. You imagine Harry Kane just sitting on his own in the corner of the changing room, like just looking lonely. Let's just sign someone to give him a mate.
We need him to talk to someone. Let's get him. Let's get him a friend.
Could they not pick Son or someone like that that would actually make it? Anyway, yeah.
Nah, Eric Dyer's a safe bet. Cheap, get him in.
He's a loan, isn't he? I think.
I heard 4 million.
Oh, okay, I've got loan on here, so I'm just looking at the BBC Sport transfers. But you've got Sancho, who's obviously gone back to Dortmund, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm
hopeful for that.
Yeah, hopefully he'll reignite his career a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Man United, like we've said before in the podcast, just ruin players, and so that's happened to Sancho. There's potential, but United have ballsed it up somehow.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, from what I hear, obviously he wasn't very good in training, turning up late, not putting in much effort. But like, surely you're the manager's there to manage a player and be able to bring the best out of them. And
yeah, I know. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, but I think I'm hopeful because of the Euros coming up that as a smashing second half of the season. I am hopeful. I'm just having a look. There hasn't been too much in terms of transfers. Otherwise, it's been a bit of a quiet window. Any more hopes for Spurs to get before the end of the window, or are you done now?
Well, you've been
the busiest team, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had 5 in and 4 in, 6 out.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. But a couple of the people I've not heard of. Jed Spencer's gone the other way to Genoa. So
okay,
he's gone. I think it's loan obligation, or not obligation, but loan option to buy. So hopefully he can do quite well out there. Phil, he sort of never hit the heights that he was promising when he was at Forest for that season.
Weird, isn't it? Because he was a Conte signing as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. Sergio Reguilon's come back, and so's Dane Scarlett from Ipswich.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But okay, it depends if Richarlison continues to kick on, whether you need anyone else. I feel like other teams are more desperate for a striker, i.e. Arsenal. But I don't know what's available to Arsenal. What would you even go for?
I did see they put an offer in for someone, and they offered 30 million less than
so this was
the Getafe striker Mayoral.
So he's having a really good week, season week. He's having a great week as well.
Good week.
He's having a great week and a fantastic Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday was all right. He's having a great season, from what I can see on the scores. But I've not really heard of him before.
Well, Arsenal don't have much money to spend, do they? So I guess they need to find someone.
Yeah. That could just finish and put the goal in put the ball in the goal. Honestly, mad. I didn't watch the Liverpool Arsenal game. I saw some highlights of they can't. It's shocking. It is shocking,
and obviously Arsenal should have someone that can actually put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah. When Jesus signed, he thought he would be the one.
I don't know. I wasn't confident. I was that confident that I bet Gibby that Harris that Richarlison would score more in the season than Jesus. So I was that confident Jesus wasn't.
This was the season.
This was the season. Yeah, this was the season to do it. But yeah, they do need a striker. Could have got someone like Timo Werner, but they didn't go in for him. So Spurs have Timo Werner.
Surely anyone, I know they're talking about, the fans have been talking about, maybe Ivan Toney, but realistically, if you just get someone in like Werner, just for half the season,
Yeah,
until
Brentford won't.
they do. Yeah, Brentford. No,
Brentford
they
won't
won't. Let.
they won't let him go now. They'll keep
would
him
you?
and then let him go in summer because you're not going to
Yeah.
get the massive money. And in summer there'll probably be a bidding war. I could see
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, especially if Ivan Toney has a good end to the season. You could probably see him going for over 100,
Yeah,
like similar to the Kane money.
Bad, yeah. Yeah, he's a bit younger, isn't he? Like 25, 26. Brentford have no motivation to sell him, losing a few players to AFCON and such. So,
Yeah,
I think Arsenal are probably the most desperate for a new signing. Man City are fine; they don't need anyone, do they? Although they will get some 17-year-old Argentinian wonder kid who turns out to be incredible.
Brighton just bought someone, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, Brighton have
look.
gone and got some. Wait, oh no, I'm on Fabrizio Romano. Let me find it.
Okay,
They got, here we go. They got Valentin Barco just signed for Brighton. Joins on a long-term deal from Boca Juniors. So he's going to be probably the best player we've ever seen in the Premier League, knowing Brighton's track record of getting random players.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just found that actually. Yeah, their scout is something else, isn't he? I want him at Norwich. Yeah. I feel like we used to have a good scout, but Okay, yeah, I'm just having a look through the.
Yeah, I mean, there's not.
It's not huge.
January's a weird window, right? Like you'd think sometimes some big signings happen, but most of the time it's just gap fillers, isn't it?
Like, it is, isn't it? It's nothing too exciting, and I guess on that note, maybe we should move on.
Yeah, exactly. We dragged it out long enough. On to the next game, which is the Posh Boy London derby, Chelsea versus Fulham. The what is it? Kings Road derby? Is that what they call it? I don't know. It's quite an evenly matched game as well, to be fair.
Yes, I'll be watching with my wine and profiteroles from the stands and on looking at Chelsea. Now, this could be the League Cup final. You never know.
It could be the League Cup final.
But it's unlikely because they both lost the first game. Yeah, I don't know what Chelsea are just... I don't get it. I was chatting to a Chelsea fan at work and he was like, you're going to be watching Chelsea Middlesbrough. I'm not really that bothered, so...
You should have done.
No. Really, was it? I saw some. Well,
no, I didn't. I don't even think I watched it. I think I had it on in the background while I was doing stuff. But
Palmer's miss, I think I saw on a video on Instagram. And I just said, no, look, you've just battered Preston 4-0. And Middlesbrough are a bit of a, topsy-turvy championship team. You should be fine. But no, obviously Chelsea proved me wrong every time. So whatever I don't get it with Chelsea. I cannot call them. And then Fulham. They're interested because they looked good against Liverpool. They beat Arsenal.
They did look very good against Liverpool. I thought Fulham were going to win that game. They had 2 chances to go 2-0 up against Liverpool. We can come on to that a bit later. But yeah, I think Fulham, they're a weird team, aren't they? Like very similar to Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Sometimes they really will turn up, and then they'll get battered by Burnley. I'm like, what? And Kunku's out
West
again.
Ham 5-0. Like
yeah.
And Kunku's out again.
Yeah. So he's come back for 4 games, in which he didn't play a full 90 minutes. Anyway, he played a total of about 150 minutes for 4 games, and he's gone. So that's looking like a bit of a
flippity flop.
Flip of a flop of a £56 million signing, I think. But that's just Chelsea all over, isn't it? Yeah. He's probably the one. So they've not got Nicholas Jackson, national selection for Senegal. So up front, what? Brozier?
Yeah, Brozier or... Yeah, Brozier. Do they have another striker?
Also, Madueke is like a winger, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not... Well, they've got Palmer as well, I guess, up front. I guess that would be...
you want him in the midfield, though, don't you? You want him in the midfield, sort of pulling the strings.
Still got
Sterling, maybe. You could probably play Sterling through the middle. To be fair, he's probably their best finisher as well.
And that's Sterling. You're saying
Yeah.
Sterling is their best finisher. If you'd have told me that Sterling was any team's best finisher a few years ago, I would not be having it, Liam. That's
No.
crazy, isn't it? Where are the goals coming from? That's going to be interesting. Cole Palmer,
That's
I
a
still
really.
think
You need Palmer to. I mean, he does the bulk of the work in that team anyway. But like, maybe do more on the goal scoring side. But maybe
Maybe he'll
Mudryk
be-
needs to start doing more.
Mudryk definitely needs to start doing more, but Palmer may be motivated by his misses being so sort of publicised against Middlesbrough to sort of prove people wrong.
I mean,
Um,
Palmer
oh,
has been the outstanding player in that Chelsea team this season, but this is a very interesting game. I think Fulham will be not really happy, but they'll be pleased that of their performance
they're still in it.
in the
Yeah.
League Cup, and I think the loss will probably help push them on to play better at the weekend. If Fulham beat Chelsea, though, surely Poch's head's going to be.
Say that all the time, don't we?
It's got to be now. Like, it's getting to the point where it's hard to keep batting for him. But then who do you get? Like, they've had so many managers in such a short space of time,
I don't.
and no one's been able to do anything. So,
Yeah,
do you get someone else in just to not do anything again? Like, it's
we've had this chat at the pod a few times. Like, you can't just
Yeah.
chuck together all these youngsters on 8-year contracts, expecting them to turn good. Mate, I had a thought randomly the other day that I thought maybe this is all some sort of grand master plan that will work, and in a few years' time they'll be unbeatable because they've got a team that have gelled together and grown together. But then, I was just dreaming some shit. So I'm gonna go for 1-1.
I'm going to bat for Fulham here. I think where are the goals coming from is very interesting. Chelsea at home. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. 2-1 Fulham. Heard it here first.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Burnley versus Luton, bottom of the table clash.
Yeah,
Burnley at home.
Interesting.
It's a 6-pointer, really, isn't it? Like, Burnley need to win this game to have any hope of survival in the Premier League. Is pretty much it, right? Like, this is the sort of game they need to win.
Yeah, because so they're 4 points behind Luton.
Yeah,
but the games following this for Burnley, which could really deflate them, are Man City, Fulham, Liverpool, Arsenal. So, yeah.
No.
So if they don't get 3 points here, and then you go on that run of games, where you're probably only going to pick up 3, maybe against Fulham, but they need something here. Because above the relegation zone, you've got Everton and Brentford, a lot more experienced Premier League teams, probably a lot more quality. I do worry for Burnley. If Burnley lose this, then obviously they've got the factor because it's a relegation 6-pointer, so Luton will be 7 points ahead of them. Wow.
Yeah.
That's when you're a relegation scrap, that's so far.
Yeah. And if Luton win, I don't think Everton play till next week, do they? No, Everton play Villa this weekend. But would they go above Forest? No, they'd go a point behind Brentford if Luton win. Which, it's going to be interesting. It could be a good game. I mean, Burnley seem to have. No, it's Sheffield. Sheffield have sort of tightened up, haven't they? Burnley are still playing.
Burnley have got a couple of results. Yeah, they are playing the same. They got results against, like I said, Fulham. And that's about it.
They did look quite good against Spurs in the cup, but I think that was more Spurs not really playing well as well. Like, they managed to stop us from breaking them down. So
they had and they did all right against Villa. They were unlucky to lose in the last minute.
But they're going to need to come out and actually play this game, aren't they? They won't be able to sit back and do a low block against a team like Luton, especially at home.
In the Championship, they drew and then beat Luton. They are unbeaten against Luton last season and this season. It does bode well for Burnley. I do think they are a better quality team, but I just think Luton have more character about them. So I do think quality will conquer. I think Burnley will win 3-1.
Oh,
They just have to, and so I think that'll be the motivating factor.
yeah. I do actually. I know I back Luton every weekend, but I don't think I can this weekend. I feel like you're right. And Burnley will actually be able to play their style of football against them, which I think will work in their favour.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be able to play and not have as much fear. Obviously, as like
They've got
quality.
essentially still championship level opposition, whereas
Yeah.
every other week it's much harder Premier League opposition. Yeah. Sorry to the Luton fans.
You said 3-1, didn't you, Ash?
Yeah.
I'm going to join you on the 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to
let's do
join
it.
you on the 3. Yeah, I think the 3-1's probably a good shout.
Let's do
It'll
it.
probably be 2-1 for a while. Luton will go in the last few minutes, try and score, and Burnley will score a breakaway goal in the 86th minute or something.
So you've gone much further than me. You've actually called out the play-by-play of the game. So
I think
fair
that. I think that's how it'll happen.
Okay,
So-
I'll hold you to that.
Next topic, and I guess we won't talk too much about. I mean, we can do. We'll see where the conversation goes. But who will win the League Cup this year? Now, obviously, the first legs of the semi-finals have been played, with Chelsea losing to Middlesbrough and Liverpool beating Fulham, with Chelsea then to play Middlesbrough at home and Fulham to play Liverpool at home. Did you watch both the games, or did you watch either of the games?
Nope. Liverpool
Nope.
will win. Let's move on.
You think that? Is that?
Oh,
Well, there we go.
it's-
Topic done.
yeah. Well, basically, no, I did. This is actually a topic I gave a bit more thought to earlier. So two things. The League Cup, it's like for a team like Liverpool, it's really any big team. Is it going to be? Is it that much of a big deal? It's like the least respected of all the trophies, isn't it?
Annoyingly,
least-
yes,
it is. Yeah, because it's Spurs' last trophy, I know. But
No, but
Um,
if your team's in a cup final, like a domestic cup final, no matter what the cup final is,
yeah,
like if you win the trophy, you've won a trophy. Like,
yes. So for a team like Middlesbrough or Fulham, absolutely massive.
yeah,
It's the way the trophy is. It's like the Europa Conference League. When West Ham won it, it was a massive first European trophy in like 40 years. If Liverpool had won the Europa Conference League, they wouldn't be that proud of it. You know what I mean? It'd just be like, well, we should be winning that. And it's sort of like the League Cup, because if it's a big team like Liverpool or Man City, then it's like not as big of a deal, if you see what I mean. Whereas
I guess
like
it just
last
because
year,
of the prestige of the team compared to the prestige of the tournament.
Exactly. So you do, So I thought about last year United won it, didn't they? And I think that would be similar to Chelsea winning it this year, a trophy that papers over the cracks. Like it'd be a trophy that they could cling to, and the fans would say, "Look, well, actually, we won a trophy this year, like United did last year." But actually, they didn't. It still didn't. For me, didn't mean that I considered United to have had a brilliant season. I'll say the same about Chelsea. If they win it, I don't think it'll mean that they've suddenly had a great season.
It's a little bit
There's still a
different.
lot of work to do.
United still went on to finish fourth, right, and get
Yeah,
Champions
they
League
got Champions
football.
League.
So
That's why I was careful with saying like a brilliant. They still had a good season.
yeah, Chelsea. I don't. This is their season. Like if they don't win this, then
I think
they
it's
finish
just-
eighth, and
But it's more important for Chelsea, isn't it, than Liverpool? I'd say,
yeah,
because I think
But
Liverpool
I think-
are probably the Europa League, so they should.
yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Fulham played really well against them at Anfield. And I think Jurgen Klopp made quite a lot of rotation and brought on a few more experienced players at 55 minutes, right? He made a couple of substitutions that completely changed the game.
Yeah.
So whether he goes out with a full strength team to start just to secure the tie and then
No.
make subs later on in the game, or if he does a
that could be
similar
the way he
thing,
does it, yeah.
or if he
the way
does
he
a
does
similar
it.
thing and plays like not as strong a team to start and then strengthens if he needs to. But I think Fulham will give him a good go. Fulham need to go all out. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to, because it's their big shot at getting a trophy. This is like head and heart. Like head would say Liverpool will probably get Middlesbrough and it'll be like 3 or 4-0 in the final. But Hart says, "I'd love to see a Fulham. Who wouldn't want to see a Fulham Middlesbrough final and like one of them
That
two
would
to lift the
be
trophy?
that would
Cool.
be
It'd be
so,
cool.
that would be so good. Yeah.
There was one. When was the last? Do you remember Swansea Bradford? Like,
No,
how many years ago was
I
that?
do not. I
Swansea
do not
Bradford.
recall.
Oh, that was a League Cup final. That wasn't even that long ago. It was 2013. Bradford
wow.
and Swansea, which was like, I remember watching that at uni and just like, well, it was just great that's the one I enjoyed watching because it's like two teams that this is massive. Getting a trophy was a massive thing, and for their
Yeah.
fan base, it'll be like something to claim for a long time. So, you know, especially with Middlesbrough being such close neighbours to Newcastle, if Middlesbrough win a trophy and Newcastle with all their Saudi millions don't. Well, there you go.
Do you know? I'd love
Anyway.
Fulham to win it just because they
Oh.
knocked Spurs out. So if Fulham got on to win the cup,
yeah. Well, yeah,
we only got.
Yeah. I said this at the time. I just don't know why Spurs wouldn't have gone for it more in this competition. This is a chance to win a trophy. Anyway.
There's next year. There's the quadruples on for next year.
Okay. Yeah. This is the new Spurs, Liam. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think then? Genuinely,
I think. Right. Let's just go through the two ties. So Liverpool away at Fulham. It's hard to call, but I think Liverpool will do it. To be honest, they've got a 2-1 lead. I don't think. I mean, Fulham are going to be going all out, and if Liverpool have half of their main attacking force out, like they'll be able to score goals on the counter too easy.
Yeah, true.
So, unless Fulham take a measured approach and nick a couple of scrappy goals rather than going full attack, they might do it. But I think Liverpool will go through, and then I think Chelsea will go through as well. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, I know it's fun to laugh and meme Chelsea, but
no, I do think you're right.
They're going to beat Middlesbrough by more than a goal at home, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. So Liverpool Chelsea final. And how would you see that playing out?
And then Liverpool win 5-0.
I don't know. Would it be that? In fact,
could you imagine if Chelsea turn up? The only game Chelsea really, really turn up for this season is the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, and they win.
Liverpool Chelsea doesn't excite me too much as a cup final. Because it was 0-0 earlier in the season. Like, oh God, it could be a shit game, that one, because they both don't want to lose. I don't know. But then Liverpool Middlesbrough would just be an annihilation, wouldn't it? So maybe Chelsea will be. It's Liverpool's to lose, Liam. We'll say that much.
It is Liverpool's to lose, but yeah, I think Liverpool will win.
Yeah,
there we are. All of that just to go back to the initial point you said 30 seconds in, Liverpool will win the cup.
Yeah. This is why we said we're not pundits, we're just nonsense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to drag it out a little bit. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, our last game to talk about, which is Everton versus Aston Villa. A Villa and Aston, don't you know? Interesting. Everton, a bit rocky form again. So, you know, like they had that brief spell where they basically took back all the points that were deducted from them, and then completely faltered again. Like, I mean, I suppose they've had Spurs away, City at home, Wolves away, and Palace away. That was in the cup though. So yeah, they've lost their last 3 in the Prem.
Yeah, they have. But okay, so they're at home. The only home game they've lost is against Man City. They look quite good for half of that.
Yeah.
And a Villa, you say Everton are faltering. Villa, I'd say, are faltering. I do think they're faltering. I think that was a lucky win against Burnley. They lost against United. They couldn't beat Sheffield United at home. And then obviously the cup was Middlesbrough. And that was a 1-0 win. I don't think they're as prolific as they were. They peaked when they beat Arsenal and City, I think.
They're looking a bit rocky, but they have had a little bit more break now. Like the games aren't as thick and fast now, are they? So
yes,
they've had a bit more time to recoup.
Yeah.
So, but their away form's been shaky this season anyway. I mean, and the same goes for Everton, right? Like they've had more time to recover and sort of more time on the training pitch.
Yeah, but I don't think fatigue was as much of an issue with Everton as it was for
No,
Villa, though. So yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Refreshed Villa. Oh, this is a tough game to call, though. It really is.
it is because Everton have, until the past few games, then they were absolutely flying. So
Yeah,
interesting,
tricky.
isn't it? Stumped you.
Yeah, Yeah, it's probably more than any other game actually this week. I can't see Villa losing. Though.
I can, you
So
know.
I might. No, I think that the factor of them being refreshed. Okay, go on then. What are you saying? Are you saying an Everton win?
I'm going to say an Everton win. I'm going to go. Oh, I just think at home, Everton's a hard place to go. I'm going to go the classic 2-1, the old 2-1.
Okay. Yep, same. I'm going to go 2-1, but I'm going to go for Villa 2-1.
The other way.
The other way.
Other way.
It'll send them top of the league for a week or so, which would be
that's quite funny, isn't it? That would be funny.
That'd be great to see.
That would be great to see. I'd love to see Villa top of the league for a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
And then Liverpool have to go to Bournemouth to regain their spot.
That is not easy, mate.
That's not an easy win at the moment, is it?
No, it's not, especially after a midweek cup tie against Fulham. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Well, I guess thank you very much for listening, everybody. I'll play you out with the exit song. Thanks for joining, Ashley. The only one.
You're welcome.
One that cared enough.
I'll always be here, mate.
You'll always be here. Like that rotten apple at the back of the fridge. That you just say, I'll move that next week, and then it turns into liquid mush.
Yeah, liquid mush. Thanks, Liam. On that note.
Sorry, mate.